Welcome to the world of crystal clear water. In today's video, we're going to show you how to install the Nu Aqua Platinum Series reverse osmosis system, your ultimate solution for pure and clean water at home. Say goodbye to contaminants and hello to better tasting water as we walk you through the step-by-step installation process. From connecting the feed water adapter to setting up the faucet and storage tank. Ready to transform your home's water supply with the Nu Aqua Platinum Series? Let's dive in and get started.
And let's start right here with the Nu Aqua Platinum Series reverse osmosis system. Everything's color coded, all the tubing, everything's plug and play. Yeah, I say plug and play like it's a computer, but honestly, it's just push in. So it's plug and play. Times are changing. The rest of the world's catching up. This video is being sponsored by Nu Aqua. My name is Claude Taylor, and you are now watching the How To Plumbing channel. Do me a favor, if you like this video, give it a thumbs up. And if you would like to see more of these videos, hit that notification bell, and you will be one of the first to see the new videos coming out. Thank you. Now that I have unboxed everything, everything is set out on a table, and this is actually where I want to start as far as doing the installation. Is I want to, what we call in the plumbing industry, is prefab things up. That's getting things ready before we put it in a location where we want it. And it makes it easy because I can get access to all the things I need to right here at the table and do what I need with all the light on me before I get up under a kitchen sink cabinet where it's going to be, tight and cramped, of course. So what I'm showing you here, this is that's the filter wrench. That's the wrench that we're going to take the cartridges off and remove the filters and change them out. And this is the spot that we are going to work in. And yeah, I know, we do need another cabinet, another sink, but play along with me. And basically what I'm doing here is kind of sizing it up so that I can make sure I have the room that I need to work in and have enough room to change out the water filters. So I will take it up about 16 inches off of the base of the cabinet up to here, and that'll give me room to lift it up high enough so that when the filters need changing, it will be easy to twist them out of here and change them out. Okay, now that I made the space that I need to work in, I'm going back to the table where I can continue to prefabricate. Again, prefabricate meaning putting as many pieces together before I actually put it in the place where it's going to go. And this is going to make it a lot easier because this is going to keep me from going up and in and out of the up under the cabinet as much as possible. So once I get this set up, you can see I'm putting some Teflon tape on one of the 90s here. This is one of the push-in 90s. This is what I'm calling plug and play. So once we get this all together, and I do some prepping up under the sink itself, up under the cabinet. Again, I'm going to need to do a little under there, so this would be in my way if I were trying to do the things that I need to do up under there. So we're going to get that stuff out the way, which is going to sit back further than the filtration system. So this gives me a lot of free space to do what I need to do back there and prep it, just like I'm doing this here. So they'll both be prepped. So once I actually do slip this new reverse osmosis system together, you will see, just keep watching this video and you're going to see the tricks that I'm doing. I know there's a lot of people, and that would include me back in the day before I got into plumbing, that my initial plan was to take something like this and just squeeze everything up under the sink and just start putting it up together right there. But no, this is going to be a much easier and smarter way to do it. And while I am thinking about it, there will be a link below in the description box that will take you to where you can purchase the Nu Aqua Platinum Series. And if you use the code HowToPlumbing, you will get an additional 5% off of the purchase. Now let me give you a close look at that fitting. If you notice, as I turn that fitting, you can see, if you look close enough, you can see that the insert of that fitting is red, the color red. So that's part of the color coding. So that's an indication that the red tubing is going to plug into that fitting right there, because it's red and red match right up. Okay, now I'm just kind of going over some of the directions, and if you look closely at that direction, you can see, what do you see? You see the color red, and I basically don't even have to read this. I just follow the colors. But yes, I can read, and I am reading it. But truly what I'm saying is the color coding and the reading all together, I mean, it's a no-brainer. And what we have here is what I like to call the bladder tank, which is actually a storage tank. This is going to store some of the water and create the pressure to push the water through the filters and out through the faucet. Because like I said before, there's quite a few filters on here, so this is going to require a little more pressure than you may have at your normal faucet, because there's water that's going to be pushed through those. And this bladder tank, storage tank, is going to help with that additional pressure, helping the water get through. Now, also keep in mind that this will be separate from your faucet, the original faucet that you used, because you're going to have two faucets. You're going to have your regular faucet that you wash dishes and do all kinds of things with, and then you're going to have your reverse osmosis faucet. And this is going to be a different connection altogether. So they're both going to have their own individual cutoffs. And while we're on the subject of the bladder tank, storage tank, it's a good thing to know that you can also get this type of system where it comes with a pump, but this pump you're going to have to plug in. So this, as far as I'm concerned, this is the best option. If you're thinking green, this is green. You don't need to use any other electricity or anything else to go along with this. This is going to be all natural pressure built up by its own. And while I'm thinking about it, keep in mind, once you do have the system hooked up and the faucet and everything, the bladder tank, the filters and everything up underneath, and you go turn the water on, the pressure's not going to be there right away. And that's because you're going to have to give the initial startup of that tank to build up enough pressure to where it starts working properly. So don't expect it to come on right away. Give it at least 1 to 2 hours and allow that tank to build up pressure, and then from there on it's on its own. Okay, now here we have the reverse osmosis faucet. Okay, I've got this is a chrome, and the faucet that we have on the sink is rubbed oil. At first I thought it'd be look a little odd, the two different colors, but you know, it actually looked pretty good. One did kind of complemented the other. So I don't have an issue with it. And the supply tubing going to this is going to be blue, going to the faucet. And it's going to be a small supply line. Most people are probably used to using 3/8 supply line. This one here is going to be a 1/4 inch, which is more than enough to create the pressure that we're going to need. And that right there is the ferrule. We call it ferrule. That little plastic insert. They make some in brass, but when you're using plastic with plastic, you want to use a plastic ferrule with a plastic with plastic tubing. And if you're using metal tubing, you want to use a brass ferrule. Never use a brass ferrule with the plastic, because it will cut into the plastic and you will have a line that's going to leak or bust on you. And this is the additional cutoff. This is, again, when I told you we're going to have a cutoff to the regular sink faucet, this is going to be the cutoff to the reverse osmosis system. And they're going to be right next to each other. This is going to be teed right into the 3/8 water supply line going to the faucet. And this piece here, this is pretty neat. This is like a safety device. I had to look at it for a minute, and then I was reading what it does. Again, it's a safety device. And you'll see this little tablet. It looks like a tablet. It's actually like a sponge. So if there's a leak or anything up under your sink, this sponge, once it gets wet, it will expand. And once it expands, it will push that piece right there up, and that will automatically cut the water off to the reverse osmosis system. And that's something new to me, and I thought it was pretty neat. Okay, now I did measure this before. I'm just showing you again, and I'm going to go ahead and put some screws in there to hold the frame of the reverse osmosis system. And all it takes is 2 screws to hold it in place, and that's all you need. And the screws don't need to go completely all the way in, just enough to give you an edge and a ledge to hang the reverse osmosis system to. This is probably going to be actually this is probably the hardest part of the job, because this is a little tight spot to work in. I'm trying to measure in there, and what makes it a little even more hard is that the fact that I'm trying to angle the camera in there and not get in the way of the camera. So it's a little tricky right now for me. But if there was no camera to work with and I just had, free space and just go in there and jump in there and do what I need to do, it would be really easy. To give you a heads up, the measurement that I had on that reverse osmosis frame, the hanger that this is going to go on to, center to center. A lot of plumbers will use the terminology center to center or center to end, something like that. Well, this is going to be center to center, and if I'm not mistaken, the measurement was 9 3/4. So the screws are going to be separated from one end to the other, and it's going to be 9 3/4 from the center of the screw to the center of the other screw. And that should give me pretty much on mark where I need to be. Again, I'm trying to get an angle on this with the camera behind me there, and trying not to get as much in the way as possible. But you can see what I've done. I'll give you a close-up view of it. You can see the screw is not totally all the way in flat with the cabinet. It leaves a little space, a little ledge. Right, just see, you can see the little ledge right there. That's going to give me just enough room to hang that frame of the reverse osmosis system to that, the frame, the hanger part of the reverse osmosis system. And that's all we're going to need to hold that up. That's it. Now I'm going to tell you something I did right here. Again, when I was working with the camera, trying to squeeze in there, I might have got like 1/4 of an inch off. So I had to redo one of the screws just one time, but that was no problem. Just letting you know. So I just took the screw, came over another 1/4 of an inch, and voila. Okay, you can see we got it hanging, and you can see that it's off the deck of the cabinet. So now when anyone has to go and replace the filters, they have enough room to unscrew the cartridge and drop it down and pull it out, put the new cartridge, the new filter in, and re-put it in place. And now this is the that safety part that I was telling you about. Reading the direction, it says put this low, and for obvious reason, because I mean the water's going to hit low if you do get any wetness up under the sink. So this is probably going to be the lowest part of the reverse osmosis system, and I'm just screwing it to the back of the cabinet. And if some of you are out there are trigger happy and really want to go to town and make that drill spin, you might want to get you a screwdriver and do it with just a regular screwdriver. I'm using a small pair of pliers. These are channel lock pliers. You could use a crescent wrench, but for me right now, I feel this is probably the easiest way for me to twist and turn that nut off of there, so I can remove the supply line. Normally, I wouldn't Teflon tape or pipe dope the angle stop. That's what this is. This is an angle stop, the cutoff to the faucet. But in this case, I am going to use an adapter that's going to adapt this cutoff to another cutoff that is going to supply the reverse osmosis system. And it is made of plastic. So I just want to make sure and reassure myself that I will have a nice tight seal. So I went on and put some Teflon tape on here to kind of assist with that. And this is the piece that I was talking about. This is an adapter that's going to adapt the new cutoff valve to this one here, to the supply line going to the kitchen faucet and the reverse osmosis. And one thing to keep in mind when you are screwing any type of plastic to any kind of metal pipe, be a little cautious of not over tighten it. You could easily over tighten it and mess the threads up on the plastic part. And what I like about this this particular cutoff here is it has a union on it, because if you notice how close I am to the back wall of that cabinet, if I were to twist the whole plastic valve itself, I wouldn't have the room to clear that cabinet wall in the back. But I guess they thought this really good and through. The union on here will make it so that I won't do just that. And again, another reminder is I am making all my connections before I put the reverse osmosis system in. I'm prepping the workup, the plumbing work that's needed in the back, connecting the supply lines, and whatever I need to, connect so that I don't have to fight through the reverse osmosis system. The same as I did with the safety device at the bottom of the cabinet. Okay, rather than drilling a new hole through the sink, this is a cast iron sink, I am going to remove the soap dispenser. And I will use the soap dispenser hole to install the reverse osmosis faucet. So right now I'm just, you can't see me, I'm up underneath the cabinet in the process of getting ready to remove the soap dispenser. And this is my basin wrench. This what we plumbers call a basin wrench, and this wrench is designed to reach up inside the cabinet, up under the sink, to access faucet supply connection and the water line connections. One thing that I would suggest and recommend, if you could, get another hand. It is kind of tricky. I mean, I've been doing this for years, so I learned a few tricks. But it's best if you have a second hand, a second person right there to help you. Okay, that was fun. A second hand would have been more than most welcome. But hey, we got it. On to the next. Okay, before we put the reverse osmosis system in and hang it on the cabinet panel back there, we're going to connect the water supply line up. So the red tubing is what we're going to use for the water supply coming from the faucet part right there where the supply line is. And we are going to take one end of it and connect it to the safety device, the flood safe device. And from the flood safe device, we're going to hook it up to the reverse osmosis. And again, before we put the reverse osmosis system in, we are going to connect. This is going to be the drain part. This is going to be connected to the drain pipe coming from the bottom of the sink, as you can see right here. And we're going to I actually already drilled the hole, so I'm doing it again just to show you guys. This was only a 1/2 inch paddle bit that I used, and all I'm going to do, it comes with a small template that adhesive to the pipe so that you can line your drill up with. And we're just going to go ahead and connect this. This would be called a saddle, and this is where the reverse osmosis system will drain into when it's processing. And now, finally, we get to the point where we can take the reverse osmosis system and hang it on the hangers on the side panel of the cabinet. And most things and everything is just about in place. Now, the rest is pretty simple. Everything is just going to be pushed to fit and connected, and then we're going to come back and install the bladder tank, aka storage tank. And again, some of this is not as hard as you might see here on the video. Just keep in mind that we have to work with a camera, and we have to make those, try to get the best views so we can show you the best process on how to do what needs to be done to connect the reverse osmosis system. And this is the blue supply line from the reverse osmosis system to the faucet. And you can see once again I am using the Basin wrench because it's really hard to try to get any type of pliers up in there or an adjustable wrench. As you can see, we do have the supply line coming from the main connection right at the angle stop, and it's coming down into the safety device, and now we're connecting another red tubing, a pipe, which is going to come from the safety device straight to the reverse osmosis. And right here we're plugging the drain into the sink drain that is going to process the reverse osmosis system waste. And of course, this is the bladder tank, aka storage tank. And this is where it's going to, we're going to use the yellow supply line right here. And again, one more thing to keep in mind again is that once the process is done and everything's hooked up, the water is not going to come on right away. It's going to take an hour or two so that this tank can build up some pressure and to actually push it out and through the faucet. That's it for this video. I'm Claude Taylor. Thanks for watching. And if you liked the video, give it a thumbs up. Also, don't forget to hit that notification bell and keep up with the next videos coming out.